Welcome to SnowRunner, where I've already managed to get stuck. The plan was to start the video like when I was turning onto this road, so I thought, it's still a little dark, but I'll drive all the way over here. Yeah, I forgot about this rock field, and you probably shouldn't try navigating it at the dark when you don't have a vehicle with a lot of ground clearance. Also, as I was looking up the weight of the Transformers for Season 16 Washington, I also noticed that, the Stage 2 rocket part is also a 3 slot. I was gonna bring this trailer anyway because I was wondering. Didn't say whether I could put it in a sideboard or not, but so I brought this, and I also get to bring some fuel, so had to bring the Tega over. Fortunately, the Tega was parked right here, and I just refilled it. I was going to use it to maybe grab some bricks after I was done with this contract for the next map, but looks like we need to use it as a rescue vehicle, because why not? Also, hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me. Looks like it's right here. There's a bunch of stumps here. I don't think the mud or snow is as deep, but this looks deceptively safe, but the mud can get really deep. I think mainly around here, so keep that in mind when you're going to this log station to pick up medium logs. Also, because of this sharp corner, if you're hauling medium logs up to here, this route is probably the better route instead of this one. Oh, and I can't remember if I mentioned this, but when you get to here, you can turn off and kind of cut your way through this to avoid the mud and water and ice chunks if you want to, or have a less capable vehicle. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get this trailer unstuck so we can go get that rocket part. Well, things aren't working out as advertised. I was hoping that going up this hill I'd get away. I didn't even remember how bad the mud here is. The lesson here is get a truck with ground clearance. That way you can do what originally I was going to do, which was to go around this way because you kind of can. But apparently it doesn't help when the trailer's getting caught on the ground because you don't have the ground clearance. Basically, I should be doing this contract with a truck that has 50-inch tires, and I could have put 50-inch tires on this truck. I did not, because I didn't think it was going to be this. I didn't remember the snow being this troublesome here, so looks like this one likes mud, and the idea is to go up here enough, and then maybe just put a marker here, just so I can keep track, and then go to right there. We're definitely not coming back this way, although I could probably... No, the amount of trouble I've been having with lack of ground clearance. As far as base game trucks, I'd recommend, I think the twin steer is the obvious winner here, because it can just go along this path, then cut around here and not care about the snow depth. And if you've got a DLC truck, hands down, I think I'm going to have to recommend the Kenworth 963. Because I'm not completely sure if sideboard beds can be used for certain cargoes, which is the only reason I'm not recommending this FEM 37 AT. As for why I'm not using, say, the Zix 605R, which would be great for this, it's all the way over here at the trailer, because I didn't remember that you have to do Orbital Velocity first before you can do the contract to bring this trailer out. So it's sitting here all filled up, ready to go. And I didn't want to have to go through the trouble of bringing it out of there and then having to get it back there and fuel logistics involved just for this contract. So, we're definitely not. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet, but I'm thinking I potentially will come up here, and then there kind of is a shortcut down this mountain that I may be able to take right here, and I think that's going to be the play, either that or breaking through here. One thing to know is this looks like a shortcut. No, it's rocks, deep snow, and you will get stuck. Just like the power line area near the garage, it is a trap. Please be careful. and I haven't been recording. Well, we begin with the rescue. Sold a pair of roof racks and some chain tire sets, so I could not only pay to recover this, but also buy 50-inch tires. And that will make a different way, because the original way I wanted to do, not great. It was more of a just trying to save fuel, because I was worried I'd run myself out of fuel if I tried to fight my way through the snow on the way back. Since we have the 50-inch tires, that shouldn't be a problem. And in case you're wondering, I did have to bring some fuel in order to be quick about it. I basically just brought the Step 10-3 out of the garage and transferred all its fuel. And so I started about 247, so we're maybe doing slightly better by a few dozen liters more fuel remaining. Okay, this is just sucky. Okay, the game devs knew I was gonna somebody would try this. They purposely made this smoother snow, didn't they? Ugh. Wow. Okay, I did not know about this. I thought as soon as I got like a few dozen yards away from the water and the rocks, that I'd be gold. Yeah, apparently not. Well, let's get on with the job then. And we are back, where things went better than I was planning. I didn't think I'd be able to back up this far, and the plan was to have to drag this out to the trailer. It, just kind of was able to back up here, and that's kind of surprised me. As you can see, there's stumps all over the place, but should be able to get this done now. And thankfully, doesn't look like the mud's too deep here, which is nice. I was honestly kind of surprised. Anyway, get Orbital Velocity finished, shall we? Off camera, I basically had to drive the Yar, get some fuel from the station, and bring it all the way back across the map so I could have fuel. I thought I was going to get maybe... I was hoping I'd at least get here before I ran out of fuel, and then I have some vehicles here. I moved the Tega because I thought there won't be a big difference between having it parked here and here. Didn't expect to completely run out of fuel. Although I can definitely say I'm glad I put the 50-inch tires on this, because loading that with that deep mud would have been interesting, and getting out of there also. Yes, 50-inch tires were definitely the right decision. So let's get this rocket delivered. If I have to, I'll take all the fuel from the Tega to make that happen. Although actually, because it has chains, I may just hand this trailer off to the Tega once I get to it for the final part of the journey. Well, I ran out of fuel. I guess the other lesson besides you need 50 or 51-inch tires for this job is maybe use a modern truck engine, because Old Heavy just burns so much fuel. So something like the Warren Grad with its modern truck engine, or the Azov 64131. You're looking for an American truck to get the job done. I guess one of the ones that has a 3-slot bed, so you don't need to use a trailer, like the Kenworth. Twin steer. It's got a special Scout engine, so you won't have problems with lack of power, but fuel consumption, I don't know if I can recommend it. Same for the Kenworth, actually, because it uses Old Heavy also. As I was doing that refueling with the ER, I was kind of wondering, because it's always kind of bothered me that there's no delivery up here, and then you have this whole area here that I don't think is ever even used. What I do personally is I put a little path right here, and then make it so you could cross. There'd be a shallow crossing area, and the third cargo for cargo cult would be like right here. Because it's always kind of bothered me that with cargo cult you have one here, one up here, and then for some reason the third one's over here, and it's like, what path? I mean, I guess maybe the plane was flying at an angle. But it just kind of feels strange, because it feels like it should have came in this way or this way, and then the third one of the pieces position doesn't make sense. So I like kind of this way, and then it would just kind of make sense that maybe the third one's like a little off, like right here, because it's still kind of in the path. That at least to me, that's kind of my thought. And then maybe you have to deliver some 1-slot cargo up here, like maybe concrete blocks, because this guy wants to put them in the ground to create a place where he can park his vehicle so it doesn't sink into the ground. That could be interesting as a 1-slot cargo, especially since they introduced a new Scout with this DLC. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the Tega, and I'm going to record in case something happens, but if nothing happens, the next thing you'll see me is delivering this Stage 2 fuel tank to the drop-off point. And I want to thank you for watching. Let's get this rocket delivered. And as you can see, well, things happened and I'll have to deal with that later. I kind of realized that instead of struggling through the rock area, given the Tega's low ground clearance, there's another route I can take. I used it when I was doing warehouse trouble, I think, on my own personal save, and I kind of forgot about it until I was looking to see if there were any other routes I could take, because, well, tank is low to the ground, and I didn't want to have to deal with those rocks if I didn't have to. So let's get this delivered. Although now that I think about it, going this way, I may actually run out of fuel before delivery. Oh, I knew it. And I should have just stocked up the fuel, put the roof rack back on the S750. Let's see. Because the problem is, I don't think I can get over this. So what I was thinking is I'd cross right here, and then you can kind of come down through the snow right onto the ice, and that was my idea. So we'll see how far we can make it. Well, things have happened. I recovered the truck. I wasn't going to mess with it. And we got to about here and I ran out of fuel. So, ended up just selling a extra Hummer I had to get money. And then brought the F-750 to the garage, put the roof rack on it, and then had it tow the yard until right here, and then it just drove itself. Got some fuel in it, but mainly just used the F-750 to deliver. And of course, as I was backing up, because of the gap on that cement slab, it decided to destroy my suspension. So, yay. Fortunately, I got a repair trailer here, so off camera I'll just complete filling up the roof rack. I didn't have enough money to completely fill up the yard's roof rack, and then bring that over here to pick up the trailer, and then we'll just repair this. I was tempted to do this just for some easy money and for the fun of it, honestly. And I may end this one also, even though it's technically not part of the walkthrough, but I'm kind of hurting for cash, so... Anyway, let's finish this contract. The original plan was I was going to drop the trailer so I could just back up under it and pull it onto the road, but it got caught on the back. I don't know if I'm... So I have to do this. Well, actually, no, I don't have to do this the hard way. This is what I can do here, and I also recommend this is how you get the trailer by the garage on ground lines and Taymare out of that situation. Instead of getting into the water to get, or mud to get it, you can just hook up and pull the trailer backwards sometimes in this game. And that can just make your life a whole lot easier. So, anyway, I guess I'll say it again. Thank you for watching. Let's get this trailer delivered. Guess it's a good thing I have spare tires in the repair trailer and on the S750. We're just gonna deliver this. I'll use the spare tire from the S750.